Everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarian.
Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarian.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarian.
Oh, here we are, Andreas. You're muted. Do you hear?
Perfect.
Do you hear what I hear? Because I still hear it, or is that just like echo? It's amazing. Well, okay, we're good. Anyway, I'm Andreas. Good to see you. This is Raf. If you guys haven't seen Raf in a week, that's Raf. And then this is our guest, Andreas Navarrete. Is that close? We tried to get earlier, and then I got scared. I don't know. But welcome to the show. This is our Neuropa, and you are you're interested in the karma of medicine, right? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Thank you very much. Do you listen well?
Yeah, you sound great.
Perfect. It's an honor to be here. Talking a little bit about me, I am from Mexico, specifically from Mérida, Yucatan.
Oh,
That
cool.
is all the Mayan zone. I also make some speech about the Mayans, about the ancestral connection with the pyramids, and I will talk a little bit about it maybe at the end.
Cool.
But the main topic is the medicine of the karma. That for me it's now the most powerful medicine.
So that's amazing. When you say the medicine of karma, what does that mean?
Yeah, that for me is a very short word with a lot of background, because in all my journey through the medicines, through the healing processes, also to the therapeutic processes to heal situations in the childhood, with the roots, with the family, what it awakened in me, this kind of state of consciousness, was a Mayan story about the sacred tree of the Mayans, that is La Ceiba. That is a huge tree that it can also be represented as a tree of life, and all the Mayan kings, before to become kings or priests or something with higher responsibility and higher power, they needed to go first to the infra world, to the roots. So that this is the Mayan stories when they talk that they were traveling into this kind of metaphoric infra world, that for the Christianity is like the hell, but actually it's a sacred temple, it's the temple of darkness, and they were traveling under the earth to meet with the ancestors, with the karma, with the repressed energies that were there for a long time, that we can perceive it as demons, as dark spirits, and I'm going to talk about that also, but the main point is that before to become kings, they needed to make this process, to go into the darkest places in themselves, so they can find the light inside of the darkness. Wow. And they knew, because the temple of darkness is the spring of light. It's where the light comes from. That's why it doesn't matter how tall you want to grow your tree, up to the sky. If the roots are weak, any wind or hurricane or any strong situation will put down the tree. So this is what started me this curiosity to understand what it really means to heal the roots.
Wow. And so why do the spirits, dark spirits, why do they end up underground, or is there a reason for that? They seep into the earth?
What do you mean? Sorry?
Like, can you're saying the dark spirits, like the pyramid of darkness, right? You're saying that they're going underground to fight the spirit. Why do the dark spirits end up underground?
Yeah. That's something that is more related to the chakras, also. Every chakra has an important process. No, that's why you have also 3 different kind of brains. No, the reptilian brain, the mammalian brain, and the cortex, the higher brain. No, and the reptilian brain, it's in a way represent as in the Mayan wisdom as the sacred snake that is the guardian of this darkness, this infraworld. Mm-hmm. And in the reptilian brain, you know, is the reptile brain is the survival instincts. And that's why the first Mayan symbol is the dragon, because the dragon was the first one that appeared in form of matter, no, in form of a physical body. So in a way, these dark spirits or these entities that live on the ground, they were the first ones. So it's like the first ones that have this contact with life, no? And that's why in the alchemists, when we hear this very famous phrase that as above, so below, or for example, when we hear this very important phrase in the alchemists that say that the spirit materialize itself in the earth, no, and then the matter spiritualize itself, no, and that is the Merkaba, no, and that is the 2 pyramids that are in opposing each other, but they are not opposing each other, they are complementing each other. That's why it's the star, no, it's the sky and the infraworld together is the yin yang. So we start to understand that this dark and light, they are actually the mother and father of all the colors, no.
It's interesting also because when we think of the Chinese medicine, like we think of karma and we think of the serpent, and I mean, well, actually you think of the serpent in yoga and some things because it's definitely in everything, but it's so much more connected with Mexico than it is with China, the serpent, the Kundalini serpent. So I mean, can you explain or elaborate a bit on this idea that Mexican traditional medicine respects and understands something to the effect of chakras and karma?
And doesn't even America mean land of the plumed serpent in one translation?
Right.
In which translation? I am not sure about it, but I will talk about this very important topic, because the serpent for me is one of my favorite topics, no, and it's also one of my passions. And yes, at the end, I think that not only in the Chinese medicine, but also the Egyptians, also the Hindu culture, no, with all of this Shiva, and there is some pyramids also in India, that there is some snakes and dragons, no, and all of these mythologies, no, these mythologies. One time I read in a Greek mythology that the ether, the spirit, is eternal through the mythologies. That means that our spirit is metaphoric. And we can understand that in a way life with the pyramids, with the ancestral symbols, is trying to tell a story to us, to remind us our origin, no? And one of our origins is the snake, is the dragons. So the Kundalini is related to the Mayans also, because in Mérida, Yucatan, there is a pyramid that is called Kukulkan. It is one of the most famous one. Most of the people that know pyramids of Mexico, they know this one, and it's because it's the pyramid of the snake with feathers, and it's the same intention of the samadhi, no? The samadhi means no duality, or the neo-advaita. And that means that the dualities are complementary. The snake is the symbol of earth, the symbol of the roots of, that's why it's the guardian of the karma, also the guardian of all information, all experience that has happened in the earth. And the eagle, that is the opposite part, represents the consciousness of the sun, no? The consciousness of the human also is the awareness, is the illumination, no? Is the eye of the eagle reflects the light of the sun. And divine darkness is only divine darkness is able to hold divine light. That's why the vagina is like a temple of darkness, and the penis is the light entering in there. No, that's why this alchemy is happening like this, because this is the light that enters the darkness. That's why our temple of darkness is so important to keep it clean, no? And in a way to keep it clean is to bring out all these aspects that are somatized in our darkness, in our infra world. And we can see also here in the pyramids that these are the Mexica, the Mexican ones from, but you can put, for example, Kukulkan. Teotihuacan is Chichen Itza.
I can't remember how to spell that. Oh, you go, Chichen Itza.
It was there.
There?
Yeah,
Okay,
there.
okay.
Perfect. That one. Exactly.
I was expecting there to be more X's when I get to the east coast of Mexico.
Yeah, because it's the Mexicans and the Mayans are different. You know, I don't know so much about the Mexicans, but the Mayans, yes, perfect. So we can see in this pyramid that is basically also all the chakras, no? And that's why there is a temple of darkness in the top, because when there is at the right position of Venus and the sun in Earth, the light goes through enters the temple of darkness, no? And that's our subconscious, no? When it becomes conscious, that's the contact between the subconsciousness and the consciousness. And under this pyramid there is a cenote. In a cenote, maybe you can also type it. It will be interesting for the people to see it.
Like this?
No, with C, E. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, any of, maybe maybe the one on the right. Yeah, that one.
Of course.
That one's better.
So a pyramid built on top of a aquifer, natural. Yeah, just like the other pyramid.
Exactly. And these are the infra walls. These are the temples of darkness, no? And that's why the Mayans, they choose the cenotes because they were created by the meteorites. The semen of the cosmos is the meteorites, and it penetrated the earth, and then with the rain of water, that is the semen of life. You understand the metaphors of life?
Yeah.
And then it's full by the rain of water. And that's why the cenotes, they also can be the elixirs of life. No, this is the temple of darkness is the spring of light, and the cenotes, when we see this kind of water, is the spring of life. No. So there is a connection between all of these, between also the womb, the vagina, no, the liquids of life, and the snake, no. And we can see also that on the right part there's two heads that are the two snakes in there. And those two snakes, when it's the equinox in spring, everything is aligned with Venus, and then the light of the sun go through the pyramid, and you can see the snake going down. And it's a beautiful moment, because it's when basically Venus, that represents the sexuality, is making love with the earth, no? And it's like that sexual energy, that kundalini entering us, no? This cosmic energy grounding itself through the snake. So that's the connection between the stars and the snake also. The snake and the crocodile, another reptile. The crocodile is the one that receive and ground all these stellar frequencies. Because as above, so below. So that means that a very enlightened being needs a very dark being to ground that information into the earth.
This is interesting because it also relates to me in ways with Austrian and German sexual energy magic. Like Wilhelm Reich sticks out as somebody who would have really understood this kind of idea of the energy as sexuality, and sexuality as meta energy. Energy doesn't have, I mean, sexuality in the West has been so derogated into being kind of a negative thing, as opposed to a part of nature like this.
I will talk about it also. No, when you show me this pyramid, that is the pyramid of Venus with these two snakes. It's the force of sexuality in humans, no? And
so this is you said the pyramid of Venus. Is this related to Venus?
Yeah, that one is related to Venus.
Wow, interesting.
And it's a temple of that, no? Venus is that Kukulkan, no? That is this awakened sexuality, no?
Wow.
Because when our sexuality awakens, is when we are able to interconnect ourselves with the lowest and the higher frequencies in harmony with all the chakras, and then we are able to awaken all our senses, no? That the Egyptians, they were saying that they were able to awaken 365 senses, no? Because it's a planetary perception. And that's through the feminine energy, no? Because it's the feminine energy is the interconnector, and the masculine energy is the electricity that goes through it.
It's pretty interesting that so many people looked at this as feminine energy, like in different places, having the idea of femininity associated with Venus is very interesting. And
yes,
pyramids to it too.
Exactly, because we are made of the cosmos, no? That's why it doesn't matter if the Mayas are translated into the Chinese. Like at this point, I don't have the only perception of Mayans, but I realize that we are all looking at the same diamond. It's just that we are looking at in a different face of the diamond, but it's the same diamond, no? So you can translate it, for example, with Nikola Tesla, when he was talking about the number 3, the number 6, the number 9, the tarot that was created in France, that it's also a language from the mystical consciousness that communicates with us, no? Or the Hindus with all this technology of the chakras, no? So at the end, everyone is just translating the same language of God, no? That is full of mathematics, is full of sacred geometry, spirituality, philosophy, no? And everything is one. That's why we are full of dimensions, no?
Raf, you just sent something. Is this the...
Yes, I would just like to bring up two things. So thank you, Andres, for explaining so far. Just the way I also, with the words that you chose, for example, whoever heard the word of infra-dimension, just like you said. And the first time I heard this was, I read some Taoist books and different things, and somehow I stumbled across this guy called Samael Aun Weor, who is apparently Gnostic, I don't know, sect guy or something. And it's just pretty interesting because they kind of fetishize this whole idea of not ejaculating during intercourse and somehow, retaining this energy, but they make it into like really strict and strange thing. And I just listened to some lectures because they have lectures like on the Hebrew alphabet and explaining the symbology, explaining the tarot. And then this professor guy is always like, yes, and if you do this wrong or something, you choose wrong, then you will go into the infra dimension and your kanda buffer will grow. Because in their idea, there is the kundalini that rises and the kanda buffer that is like a tail or something. And that's the bad thing. And I just think it's so interesting how the way you put it so neutrally, Andres, and then, you know, a guy like this comes along and makes this huge, strict, you know, very strange, interesting, but very strange religion around it. And
Yeah.
yes.
Simon Vera seemed kind of cool though. I'm down with him. I think he's like he's a necessary Latin Reich, you know.
Very interesting. Yes. So I'm just saying, you know. So and the other. So Andres, you want to respond to that because there's one more thing I'd like to bring up.
I would like to respond with that because it's a very important topic, and it's the aspect of religion. No, the aspect of religion is an aspect of separation. No, it's when we try to understand the spirit in a rational way. Mm-hmm. And in that way, we are only using the half part of our brain, no, the masculine part. But the feminine part is the one that doesn't need to understand, but experience, not to feel it, and it's the part that is the creative part, no. And for me, the religion has an aspect of kind of making a protocol out of something sacred, no, something natural, no. And it's because one of the missions, and I'm talking openly, no, from my opinion, it's just my point of view, that what I saw is that the religion has the mission of erasing the feminine energy. Mm-hmm. And that's very important to talk about it, no? That's why, in a way, when the church came to America to destroy the pyramids, and with the same stones they make the church, it was really with that intention of disconnecting, no? Because if we are disconnected, if we are following protocols, stereotypes, looking from outside the answer to, but not kind of encouraging us to go inside to our darkness, to our magic, to our connection with that divine, no? That is not in any temple, no? But we are the temple already walking, no? And in a way the religion has this purpose, no, and that's something that is going to be a more extended topic, no, talking about the karma and the religion, that we will get there.
Yes, there was just one more reference I wanted to bring up. This is, I'm not sure if you're familiar, Andres, with the channeled material by Ra, or Ra, the Law of One. And here he talks a lot, actually, I can really recommend. This is one of the few, I'm not sure if I'm seeing the screen, Andreas?
No.
It's not connecting. Yes, so go to point 9, please. So 32.9. So in general, this is really interesting. Also, so there's like 4 or 5 books. Everything is publicly available as PDFs or whatever you want. On this side, you can even search through it. They talk a lot about sexual energy and sexual interaction and creative energy and the chakras and the importance of activating certain chakras in order to even be able to receive higher frequency energy. It basically comes down to, if your heart chakra is activated, you can receive energy from all levels. And if it's not, then you kind of have these first, third chakra, scarcity-based fight or flight response mindset, which I would really say that you can tell, you know, by interacting with individuals, is their heart open or not? And that's, of course, also hugely important for any sexual relation. And here, basically, I just wanted to bring up 32.9, but I can, like I said, recommend the whole books and also the hidden part 4 book where they talk about their personal experiences, which is another thing that's really interesting, and everything that got deleted. And here he's just talking about the idea of wanderers. Maybe even Andres can speak of this, because there's always this idea, you know, are we reincarnating? Are we incarnating from other stars? And here this is this idea of wandering. So wandering like the planeswalkers in Magic or something in the trading card game, you know, from dimension to dimension. And here they say that, just like Dolores Cannon, that there is different levels of entities that chose to incarnate here. So they had a certain level of experience. And then they said, okay, I want to go back individualized to anchor this energy in this experience because it is desired, let's say. And here he talks about the different relations these wanderers have. And the most important thing, I think, is the 3210. So basically the potential of sexual communion, or the frequency states that can be achieved through even any communion. And I just think it's a really I'm not going to read it now. I just think it's really nice to check out, and kind of gives a reference also, especially like you said, in relation to the chakra system. And it really explains it, I think,
I
very
like
well.
this because of density, the idea that these are different as they've come into incarnation into physical, in the physical of this density for a period as wanderers, and then there's fourth density wanderers, fifth density wanderers, sixth density. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Density instead of just dimension, mass. I like it.
And maybe yeah.
If you want, I can go back.
No, that's good. Andres, I'm not sure if you know about this, or what is your whole idea about this idea of incarnating, reincarnating, and these energy states?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's more and more obvious that we are incarnating, no, and it's also relate to how many ancestors were before to create this body, no. So also that human brain is still not in the main climax, no, of evolution. That we are still just in the beginning, no, and through the substances, no, like for example when we talk about bufo or ayahuasca, or specifically about DMT, we interconnect to this kind of akashic records that's why the Mayans and the Egyptians, and we come back to the pyramids, they were writing on the stones because it's a metaphor. Because writing on the stones means the print into the cosmos, no, of the experience. That means that and it's also very curious how this is also connected to the quantum theory, that the universe is a hologram, no. And when you see the hologram that is being projected through the light and through this sphere, the holograms are very similar to the hieroglyphics, no. So we can say that there is a memory, and that there is an ancestral memory. There is a memory of origin. And normally we remember this when we have contact with these sacred plants, you know, these medicine plants, these teachers, no, that remind us. And it's because other parts of our brains are being activated, no? Like when you smoke, for example, bufo 5 zones of the brains are being activated that are not normally activated in ancestral parts of the brain, no? And I think that once that you start to awaken and remember that the stars are dreaming you, no? The cosmos is dreaming us, and when we remember that, is that when that dream come into realization, into awakening, no? It's like, oh my God, I am a dream, and I wake up inside of the dream, and that's the second movement of the Merkaba, no? When it's the pyramid going down, and then it's the pyramid going up, no? And that means that in that moment you remember that there is the time. There is no time, no, for the spirit, for the ether. There is no time, and it's like a very clear feeling, no, and it's like a feeling of clarity, no, of is in my essence. It's written in me, like in the pyramids, no, but it's the journey of every person. Some people doesn't want to remember past lives. And especially when there is heavy situations of karma. And this is just from my perspective, no? There is other perspectives, of course. But I believe in reincarnation. And I think that as we are more and more enlightened, because this is a process of enlightenment in humanity, in the pineal gland process of opening, everything is more clear. No, it's more clear that it's not the first time that we are here, no? And normally we remember this through the constellations, because what I realize is that we are not individual beings, but first we are a couple. We are man and woman, human beings are not individual beings, they are a couple. That's why we have feminine and masculine energy. And then after understanding that we are a couple, we understand that that couple belongs to a bigger organism that is a constellation, it's a stellar family. And that stellar family contains all the experience and informations of all these journeys that we keep between our connections. That's why when you, for example, meet somebody by coincidence and you feel like, oh, I feel like I know this person from somewhere, no? And a lot of things start to open, no, a lot of bridges to another memories. And it's the connection that remind me other memories. So this is what I can say, I can share.
I like that. The idea of symmetry, right? Like there's things that, so the other thought you said earlier was, I forget how you said this, but the soul as immaterial or not matter or something. Is that right? Like energy is not matter. So, I mean, this comes up a lot recently because of things in the future. They're talking about altered carbon, and maybe you can like in Star Trek, teleport your body somewhere else. So you just print another version of you, and you don't have to travel, and that'd be great. Except your soul's here and not there. So is your soul there, or is your soul beyond the material? Can you just reprint yourself? I mean, what is the soul? What is the energy? And do you think that's possible?
Yeah. I mean, I think everything is possible, no? The infinite possibilities, no? It's like talking about the multi-universe, no?
Right.
But what is important here is for me, my feeling is the intention of the collective human consciousness. That is a process of grounding, no? It's a process of going to the center. It's a process of the number 9 of Nikola Tesla, no? Of going inside, no? And that for me, it's like all these dimensions and alternative realities, they are compressing into one, no? That's why and I think the purpose of that is to remind our essence, our authenticity. So exactly, and that's the like the torus is those two movements of going inside and expansion, no? And that's because is this process of the tree that, for example, when the roots are ready to give, then it's a whole process of abundance when that abundance become into fruits. And those same fruits are, when they fall into the roots, they are nourishing the same tree, no? So it's like I am nourishing of myself, no? And that means that all those experiences of all those alternative realities, they are compressing into one truth, one clarity, one eye, no? And it's like the same process of all the stars, no? That when we see the movement of the galaxies, they are moving in a spiral, no? And they are going inside. And it's because the same force is going to the center, to become one again.
So do you think that becoming a singularity is kind of an inevitability? It has to happen?
I think that it's simultaneous to the process of expansion, no? It's like a process of becoming gods, no? From a seed. That's why the galaxies, no? But before to go so far, I would like to continue to talk about the karma.
There's a dramatization of karma happening to somebody. But yeah, so what do you mean when you say karma again? And continue to talk about the process. Yeah.
So the karma is what I was saying, no? All of this connect to the Akashic records, no? And the Akashic records, and it's in a way the psychedelics, the mushrooms that are connecting to the roots, no? Or the DMT that connects to the pineal gland, to the upper chakras, not to the divine connection.
So do you think the Akashic records, like some of these plants, have memories, or how do the memories get stored? How do the Akashic records associate to the mushroom?
Yeah, well, the memories are hidden in many places. No, they are hidden. The memories of our lineage, they are in a way. I say hidden because it's a place that we don't see. No, but it's
Right.
there in our skeleton, and also the memories of our past lives. A lot of them are hidden and put into the different places on the earth. No.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we know the mushrooms have the same neurons and neural hormones to hold memories and all of it that we do. So it makes sense. They
We
have
have
the equipment.
we have also memories in the sea, no, of the Atlantic civilization, the Lemurians, etc. No, and we have memories in the constellations, no, of the Pleiadians, the Anunnakis, the Lyrians, the Syrians, etc. No, so it's different levels, no, of memories.
Yeah.
So it's like a symphony, it's like a music that is happening, no? And it's all of them working, no? Into the same process of the same canvas, no? That is painting in different levels in us, no? This divine art that is our manifestation. Mhm. So when I talk about karma, it's the most important karma because what I think about karma is the same like the composta, no, the fruits, no, like we ate all of these, no, and it's all this metaphoric shit, these metaphoric things that we didn't eat, no, and this food and fruits and everything, no, and everything is that is like a waste, no, can be useful, no, and can be useful for the nature. That's why the nature is in a way trying to explain us that the way that the nature works is how we work, no, in a spiritual level. That's why it shows this kind of system of intelligence. So when we talk about the earth decomposing the composta, and it's because the earth has the intelligence of decomposing to recompose. Mhm. Because we can all we need a material, no, we need something to decompose, to recompose, no, because we need is the way how we are also in a way metaphorically ecological, no, by using our same medicines, no, and that also can help you to really bring a potential into use of psychedelics or any medicine into a much beneficial level, no, for you and the planet, because at the end, I think the purpose of all of these healings are to realign us, no, to the sacred geometry of life, no. So because for we can see it also in quantum physics that in a way synchronicity, when we go to the metaphysics, means magic, no, and it's because when the things are cooperating in many levels, in different levels, bigger things happens, no. If, for example, if I am just like an individual person thinking about my individual purposes of life, my individual dreams and fantasies and desires, no. So in a way, I can be so lost in myself that I am disconnected from everything from outside. I am a tool that is being not in synchronicity, no. So we can imagine that life is like a well, no, and through all the rivers they are interconnecting, no. But when it goes through my river, it's like, okay, there is something here stuck, no, and it's this kind of jail of the ego, no, this bubble that we close ourselves, and we don't allow the forces of life to go through us to transform us with all the life itself, no. And sometimes that's the resistance or the instinct of conservation in us, no, and that's related to our families, no, and that's related to the karma of the family, that is the conservative energies that are kind of like how the family feels the identifying itself with these kind of energetical situations, no. And we can and that's the most important kind of potential of transformation because all the metaphoric composta is that karma of the family that is ready to be decomposed, but it need to be decomposed consciously. Because
Wow.
now we are in states of consciousness. That's why everyone is waking up now, because our kundalini has already making the process of a higher or vibration, that we are much more able to be more strongly vibrating in these upper chakras. But for that, we need to master and be completely focused on the lower chakras. Because it's how the kundalini is going up. So that means that the medicine, the most powerful medicine that can have the power to change your life and find your divine destiny is the medicine of your family, no? And by that, I am talking also about the poison of the family. That's why, for example, Pufalvarius is a poison. And also there's a poison in Cuba, the poison of the scorpions that they use to heal cancer, no? The poison of the bees is being used to heal the cancer in the skin, in the tendons, etc. No, there is a poison of another frog that is called cambo, that is for the immune system, the parasites. No, so there are many medicinal fundaments that comes from using the virus to heal you. No, in a certain amount. No, the same virus that is killing you, if your body knows the information before it attacks you, you get these antibodies to defend itself, no? But you need to integrate that virus, no? You need to, and in a way, it's the same process with the medicine, that in a way it kills you. It kills the ego, no? And for example, the butterfly, before it becomes butterfly, the cocoon, this how we call this in English, it's worm, no?
Oh, the caterpillar.
Yeah, the caterpillar, it dies, no? And it needs it's to die, no? And that's the real meaning of shamanism, no? Shamanism is the journey of dying and rebirthing. So that means that part of you needs to be decomposed, no, to be recomposed into another part, no. But this is the part when
just want to sit with that for a second. That's something I always wonder about. Like, so if a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, how much of the butterfly is the caterpillar? I mean, do the memories last? How much of the brain's the same? That's a question I wonder about butterflies. Do they remember being caterpillars?
Exactly, no, because the memory doesn't get lost, no, and sometimes, of course, we need to forget because we need to move, no, and that's the magic also of forgetting, no. That one of the process that I have in mushrooms few months ago, I went there to heal a lot of karmas, no, when past lives and people that I know in this life, that in a past life we have a very heavy karma, no? And I saw also heavy things that when I was in the war, for example, and they were bombarding us, no, and killing us, and when I was in a past life when I was a pirate, no, and there was like nasty killings in there, no, and sometimes those places are closed because we are not ready to remember them, but we don't see that it's actually making influences in our lives, you know.
Yeah,
that's why life in a way brings you a metaphor to heal that karma. So your illness, your sickness, your family, everything that life chose for you is actually a vessel for you to heal that karma, to transform that karma. No, it's like the same lesson come in a much more gentle way. For example, with I don't know, with a relationship, with money, with a disease. No, to forgive yourself. No, to forgive the hate that you saw in your father, no, the hate that you saw in women's, no, in the nature, etc., etc. No, so in a way we are in the same mythology, no? And that's why the karma is related to the samsara, no? And the samsara is the wheel that contains the karma and the dharma. And the samsara is this wheel of karma that is rotating. But when we lost ourselves into the distortions of reality, that these distortions of reality can be the ego, resentments, revenge, hidden hate, no, and all of these aspects in us. So then the karma start to repeat itself, no. That's the way the snake is buying its own tail, no, like in the alchemist, because it's the way how the karma is healing like that, no, by going into the same metaphor, until we realize that after going through it millions of times, of reincarnating and going through the same process, we are more like with our senses, no, like with our instincts, to feeling like, wait a minute, I feel like I already went through this in my life, and I feel like I don't want to go through this anymore. I want to get out of this infinite cycle, no, and this trap that is my own trap, my own no self-forgiveness, no. And what is what I need to forgive? And what it made me hate that, no? And it's that process of rediscovering yourself, no? And can you forget if somebody kills someone that you love, no? What is the teaching of that in life, no? So this is like starting to explore this ocean of wisdom that the karma contains, no?
I would just like to point out what it always comes back to for me in any of these realizations and understandings is the real knowledge, wisdom, experience of actually being an eternal presence or eternal perspective is absolutely vital to be able, because otherwise, how do you forgive rape? How do you forgive murder and genocide? You know, and Andreas, you may not be aware yet, but he's done a lot of shows, of course viewers are aware, you know, about all the things that have been done to indigenous people, how whole nations are being wiped out, all of that, you know. And especially in this also research, maybe Andreas, you want to talk about your own view? I'd be curious, you know, let you say what you think yourself. When you see all of this, you know, can you forgive it in a way? Andreas?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Andreas and Andreas, to both of you.
It's like Pete and Pete on Nickelodeon right now. This is great. I love it.
So who is replying?
Well, maybe I'll let Andreas reply first, and then you, Andreas. You know?
Okay.
Oh my
okay.
God, this is just meta. Okay, wait. Am I Andreas? Can I be exerted? I'll be Xirtus.
Xirtus.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
Xirtus.
okay.
So tell me, how do you see that? Can you forgive all the
one time
genocide you've been documenting?
One time I was in high school, and they didn't tell anybody this was happening, but there was going to be like a speech or some sort of a thing for everyone to see at the auditorium, like a lecture thing. I thought, I didn't know this. My parents didn't know. Nobody signed anything, but then I meet this guy, and he's got this huge beard, and he looks like John Rhys Davies from The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. Like, he's a big guy, like furry, guy. And he's got a strong accent, he's clearly from like something kind of Arabic. And I don't know, because I'm young, I don't know who he is or what's up, but he's got this like messed up arm, right? Like something's happened to him, and he's trying to find a bathroom. So I don't go to class a little bit, and I go and I help the guy find a bathroom, and I like walk him. And it's also weird because he like goes to like hold my shoulder or my hand the same way that has happened to me with Croatian old people. Like, it's a more culturally close, you can be closer. It's not weird. Like, it's a good way to say you're an ally. If you walk through a weird gang part of a town and you're with someone who is important, if they hold your hand, you're not going to get robbed or shot. Like, it's kind of it's a different mentality. So I could instantly tell this guy was not even living in America at this time, was not from this culture. Still had no idea he was part of whatever this lecture seminar was going to be. He gets to the bathroom, and then after, so now I've got this friend, you know. So then they take us out of our classes and they go and they sit us down, and it's lo and behold an Israeli-Palestine peace talk, and they're telling all the high schoolers, hey, it's horrible what's going on in Israel, and each group has lost their family members, and it's hard to forget and everything like that. And it's just, so it gets to the point where that guy comes on stage and he's like, well, my son was in the army, he was killed. My daughter, she was at home, she was killed. My grandchildren, they died, you know, they were 7, you know, and 6. And you know, I have no family legacy, I have nothing to move forward with. And the only reason I want this to stop happening to other people. And then the Israeli guy, he doesn't have the same kind of story. He's got like, one of his daughters was a soldier who died in a battle. In other words, so she came into somebody's home or something like that, into their area, and then she got killed, which is, it's a horrible story, but it's a little different than this guy who's had his whole family picked off over the last 20 years. And then they're saying, how are we going to reconcile this? How are we going to have forgiveness? How are we going to, you know, move forward and everything? And the Israeli guy, he's talking about forgiveness in a little bit more of a plastic sense. And I think it's also because, you know, it requires also being forgiven. Whereas this Palestinian guy is like, well, I mean, I'm never going to forgive the guy who did this to my family. Like, that's too much for me. But what I will do is say it has to stop. Like, we have to move past it right now. And so if we don't move past it, we will be stuck doing this, not just to, you know, I won't just be living it over and over again. It will keep happening to other people. So I think that's the thing with forgiveness, is it's more of a complication, because you talk about the difference between forgiveness and mercy and what's the term for reparation, right? And so reparation. So sometimes reparation sounds ridiculous, and a lot of people are like, oh, why would I have to pay reparation? And this is going to sound weird coming from me, because I'm supposed to be, you know, but here's the deal. Karma has to do with reparation. So regardless of whether or not you want to take responsibility for the dishes in the sink, at a certain point, someone has to start doing the dishes in the sink. You know, that's the thing. So I believe that forgiveness has a lot more to do with reparation than people realize. And it's not necessarily something where you have to say, hey, I'm responsible for this past thing, but it's saying I will be responsible for this future. And I think that's the only way that we can really move forward. Sometimes you literally have to be so disconnected from the thing that you can fix it, that you can acknowledge it, and you can say, wow, you know, what is this pirate's life? You know, because if you were in it, you couldn't see your own face. So I don't know. That's my thought on forgiveness.
All right, then Andres, next.
Okay, so forgiveness, I'm going to talk about forgiveness in different levels, no? And because it's not the same, the forgiveness that is happening in the cortex with the consciousness, when there is a conscious forgiveness, and it's not the same, the forgiveness in a reptile level, no, in the survival instincts. So the forgiveness in the survival instincts, there is some studies in the neuroscientifics that say that there is not forgiveness if there is no revenge, no, in the reptile brain, no. So that's something very, very important to know it, no, because there is a whole ritual of revenge, and it's also the karma, no. That's why many therapies that are just based on compassion, on see the situation from a higher perspective, from the love of letting go, and etc., they don't work in humans, no. But it's more like from a religious place, no, from a place when the lower chakras are in this connection, no, and it's the same religion, no, that is. It's just the upper chakras, the heart, that has to be full of compassion. The sixth chakra is the 5th chakra that is all expression, to talk with respect, with truth. The sixth chakra, that is to see God in everything, and the seventh chakra, that is the heart connection, no? But what happened to the third chakra, no? To the fire? What happened to the second chakra, to the sexuality, to the territorium, to not to be, don't be invasive with me, no? I don't think, oh, this is good or this is bad, but if someone is messing up with me, I'm going to have my reactions to that, no? And it's already the reptiles in that place, no, possessing me, no. So in a way, it's to explore the reptile brain, no. And from the higher perspective of forgiveness, the cortex, we can understand that there is one book that I love that is called The Course in Miracle, that says something very, very deep of forgiveness that for me is like a huge medicine words, no? That is saying that in reality there is two forgiveness: the forgiveness from the ego, that is like a victim, no? Oh, I forgive you because you beat me, and it's like, but I am the victim, no? And but I will forgive you because you're the aggressor, no? And that's not like a real forgiveness, no? It's like the ego trying to put the blame on someone, no?
Do you ever notice how with a guy, I'm sorry, I was thinking about this, when a guy's like Muladhara or Kundalini chakra is jammed, the Manipura abdominal stomach chakra inflates, like that becomes their biggest chakra. And for women, a lot of the time, there's Svadhisthana chakra near their womb, right, becomes larger. You know, have you seen this?
Yeah, because it's our stomach. It's very important to understand that our stomach, there is so many neurons of emotions there, no? So normally when we are holding a lot of things, no, the body is a quantum machine of wisdom, no? And every illness or thing that happened to us is a metaphor, no? It's our body trying to teach us that we are taking the decisions that are self-destroying us, no? So talking about the higher purpose of forgiveness is the same like the Mayans. They were saying this, that in la cage, no, that means I am you and you are other me. I am energy. We are all the same energy. So that means that when I forgive you, I'm forgiving myself, because there is no other you. What you did to me, I did it to myself. What that means, that there is not victim, that things are in according to the law of attraction. What did I attract this situation? What did I resonate to this situation? Maybe one guy punched me because I was so angry at my father that he was being a bullying with me, and I needed to express that energy in a metaphoric way. I was already vibrating in that energy before it found me. It found me for a reason. That's why the karma is so intelligent. It's not anything is a coincidence. Everything is attracting each other because it's in the same frequency. So when a situation appears like that into your life, it's a master teacher so you can analyze yourself in a deeper level. What is inside of me? What is life trying to tell me? How am I raping myself? How am I not respecting myself? No? And who am I? Am I my family? Maybe it's because I hate my mother and she's my own blood. No? And that is being manifest by my relationship with women, that they despise me, they hate me, no? Because I hate myself deep inside of me. And that teacher is showing me that. That's the level higher of consciousness, that there is nothing to be forgiven, actually. Everything is being given in a sacred way to teach us. That's why every illness and sickness are actually teachers. That's why healing is not a goal, something to achieve, because then we are being lost into these kind of promises, no, of many healers, of shamans, of doctors, that you're going to be cured with this, no. And I want to get cured of this. I want to get rid of this, no, like very masculine, no, yang energy. But the yin energy, from the perspective of healing, is that I don't want to get rid of this sickness. I want to learn from this sickness. It's different. So that means that everything is growing us.
one of the comments in the audience, Keenan says, karma equals revenge. That's what most people think, isn't it? Revenge for what you've done, or revenge for the universe onto that who have wronged you. That's what I was first taught. Maybe you could comment on that idea. Is karma related to revenge?
Yeah. Of course, it's related because it's a ritual. No, everything is that's forgotten ancestral memories. That's why the Egyptians, they were talking about the rituals a lot, because the rituals are the language of the soul, no, through the material manifestation, no. So that means that there is a ritual of revenge, no, in human beings, because we have a reptile brain, we have a survival instincts, no. But the revenge can, now when we connect all the chakras, the revenge can be metaphoric, no. And that's why, for example, when there is and this is more of alchemies, and it's related to the medicine of the karma, that the medicine of the karma, I call it like that because it's a medicine that we can cook it, we can cook the poison, we can cook the ayahuasca, we can cook the resentment, we can cook the revenge, no, and drink it, no, and allow that medicine to show us the higher vision of this experience of life, what it shows us, no, why it shows our karma in this situation, no. So, for example, when we talk about the patriarchy and the matriarchal resentment between each other, the society, the civilization destroying the nature, that is the matriarchal energy, no, the man repressing the woman, the church repressing the sexuality, and all of this situation between the feminine and the masculine. So there is a huge resentment towards the feminine energy to the masculine energy. So that means that there is a lot of revenge that is there about to explode. No, that's why we can see now that the women, in a way, they are making these movements of angerness, no, to be angry at the society. And I see it a lot in Mexico, no, that there is a lot of movements when they are destroying the cities and the men are killing women, and huge things like that are happening, no. And it's because that's our nature, no. But what are we going to do with that, no? There is a point when we realize that the reptile brain needs the cortex, that is the consciousness, and the consciousness needs the reptile brain, and the one that is in the middle is the mammalian, is the emotions, no, is all the colors of the canvas, no. And that means that and that's the cooking, that's the alchemies, that to use that anger. For example, there is a ritual that I recommend in some process of healings for healing the roots of this karma. When I recommend, for example, to the women to put 2 watermelons and 1 cucumber, no, and in the cucumber to put a picture of your father there, no, and you put the clothes of your mother and your grandmother to connect with your feminine lineage, and you let flow all that anger and that resentment and that huge need of revenge, the masculine energy, by smashing the watermelons, no. So it's a therapy, no, and that's why the therapies, they need to be done in different levels, no, not just in the compassion, in the Buddha and the Namaste, etc., but also on the active healings that are
smashing a watermelon's a ritual. So Gallagher is like a Mayan witch doctor. He's like a brujo. That's amazing. Do you know about this guy? Do you know who this guy is? Have you heard of Gallagher? Long ago in America, there was like the Vietnam War, and there was a bunch of neurotic people that had been in, lots of traumatic experiences, and they were not used to it. And then the kind of comedy that came out of that, this guy would just come up on stage, scream, and smash a watermelon. But it would really, and people noticed, they're like, I don't know why, but when he releases that energy into the watermelon, we all feel great. Everyone feels way better. Everyone leaves feeling like they left something behind.
Exactly, because it can also represent the ego, no, and this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to explain it like this with the chakras, So first we connect to the reptile, to the inferior chakras, and we connect to the anger, no, to the roots, because we all have anger in the roots. We all have heaviness from the war, heaviness from all the situations that happened to my ancestors, the killings, the rapings, etc. No, and that's in the inferior roots, the father, the mother, the grandfather, etc. No, and then we go to the second chakra, to the sexual energy, when we can find all the shame, all the guilty, all the guilt, all the blaming, all the judge, all the insecurities, all the needs of self-validation, etc. No, all these, the frustrations of the men, no, in the testicles, the kind of the taboo of receiving in the vagina, in not receiving the masculine energy, etc., etc. No, and then we manifest that, for example, with this ritual, and we connect to, we move the energy by putting into action that energy, and then we connect to the fire, to the third chakra, when we make an action that can release that energy. So then I put the cucumber and I put a picture of my father. I smash with all the fire, with all the anger, with all the sadness, etc., etc. And then at the end, I cut the cucumber as an instinct of castration, no? And that's in a way, it's like all the instincts of the reptile brain, of the human brain in women's, they have this instinct of castration, because all this resentment of the war, of the killing, of the disrespecting, abusing, raping, etc. No, and then after that, I go to my heart, to the heart chakra, when I make the process of forgiveness after the revenge. And then what I do is that I say, like, okay, I release this energy, and I think it's time to forgive, no, to process this energy, no, this teaching, no. So in that moment, I recollect the fruits and everything, and then I make a smoothie, no, and I make a smoothie, and I go to visit my mother, and I drink it with her, no.
Nice.
And then when I drink it with her, I connect to my 5th chakra, and then I speak my medicine, and I say, you know what, Mom? It was very shitty what happened in the past between men and women, but I might give it a chance to humanity, because I want to have a new vision of men and women. Then boom, the 6th chakra opens into a new vision, acknowledging the past, creating a new vision of a conscious innocence. And then after acknowledging this, all the circuitry of my family is changing the destiny through the new vision of art, of creation in my life. And then I connect to the 7th chakra, that is the divine intention of transformation of this karma through me.
Wow. And then what happens when somebody, I mean, it's amazing because it's true. It's very practical. You know, this is just, you know, use your body, use what's around you, connect with other people.
Prepare your medicine.
Right.
Recognize this medicine, no? Sometimes it's like we need to see the medicine, no? And that's one post that I wrote in Facebook, in my page, for the people that is listening. Maybe they can read it. And it's about one men's retreat that I made, when also we make a process of healing in the masculine energy. When I was writing about the eyes, no? That the power of men's is in our eyes, no? In most of the, but that's my normal Facebook, but I also have a page.
Oh yeah. Where's the page?
It's called Jaguar de Cacao.
Is it de like Jaguar?
But actually, there. Just go to my post, and it's linked there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
There we go. Cool.
And we go down there, and there is this post that one that I have a men's retreat in Slovakia, that I was writing that the power of men is in our eyes. And the fire of Shiva is being transmitted by the consciousness of Shiva, that is the eye of Shiva, no? That's why the eye of the eagle reflects the light of the sun. And in this, I am making a very deep explanation about how men lost their power by not being seen by their father. No, because the father and the grandfather, they couldn't see themselves because of all the karma. That's why there is so many alcoholics. The alcoholic is a tendency of not seeing, of forgetting. I don't want to know anything about life. I don't want to see life because there is too much pain there. So that's why they don't see the children's. They are all the time working. And then probably my father, he was working all the time, so he didn't see me. No, he didn't nourish me with that, by looking at me, directly in my eyes. So that was a very beautiful process that I had with these men when we were healing that memory, that trauma in the living brain of not being seen by the father. And at the end of the whole process of the ritual, we got to the point when we were accepting that after reconnecting to the eyes of the father and the love and forgiving, etc., all the process of forgiving and all of that, that all our power is in our eyes, because it's our eyes that see the medicine. It's our eyes that see the healing. It's our eyes that see the transformation, that see the creation, that see the art, the beauty, the poetry, and all of that is through that force of life, to and we can also call it the eye of Horus, and I think that was the most nourishing revelation of what is the power of men's, of the masculine energy, and it's in the conscious eyes, to see the medicine.
Wow. So, I mean, do you think in general ritual, I mean, it has such a crazy connotation for the West. So rituals associated with, it seems like a lot of work. B, it seems like it could be evil. You know what I mean? Like, because you accidentally might interact with spirits that aren't great. Not every spirit's a good spirit. Do you ever worry about evil spirits or malicious spirits without great intentions? Is that something to worry about?
I think that's the best topic to talk now, because that's more related to religion, and I love the topic. I love it so much because I have passion to talk about it now. Because already for me the devil and all of these ideas of entities and I had to protect myself from these bad spirits, etc. It's like Mickey Mouse, no? But let's talk about it, no?
Thank you, Andres, for that comment. Yes, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it because it's fun. It's fun, and it's good to understand why this is the schizophrenia of the planet, nowadays.
Word.
And why this is the psychosis of the healers nowadays, that they are becoming healers and channels, and it's not to judge or something like that, but it's to show this perspective that the darkness is being rejected still. It's like the same intention of the religion and the church is still being projected in us, even that we smoke DMT, we smoke marijuana, we take mushrooms, but still all of these traumas of our ancestors of being disconnected to their darkness, because who was the one that created the devil? It was the church,
right? Yeah,
it was them that created.
Mistranslation. Not too long before going to Mexico and South America, like probably within about 20-50 years, the devil was created, and then they went there and told you guys about it.
Exactly. So it's crazy, no?
Not like there was even 1,000 years there, though. It's like literally within their lifetime they made up the devil and told you guys about it.
And it's the same like talking about masturbation, and it's the same about talking about the snake, and that's why the snake was the symbol of evil in the church, the temptation, the desire, and it's like, and there is one book that I don't remember the name now, because one of my teachers, he he gave it to me, and I left it in Mexico. It was talking about the sexuality that is the power of illumination, our sexuality, and that was the way how Jesus he got illuminated by his sexual energy, And we are not talking really about Tao, practice that is to avoid that, and to put it inside, that's tantric, but it's more like a liberation, like to see the divine there, and it's to see the light in the darkness, That's why Shiva, for the Hindus, is the same equivalent as the devil in the Catholic. They are the same one.
It's also interesting when you look into it because, Lucifer started out as a mistranslation, right? They didn't translate phosphore correctly, which was Venus. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so just to put this plainly, so Venus is the enemy, which is love, and also the snake is the enemy, which is simply the symbol of being connected, also in the Hindu sense, let's say. The snake is simply the life force energy, So of course the church, if it wants to kill the feminine energy and put a control structure on top, it declares all natural life force energy as the nemesis. I mean, makes perfect sense.
Exactly, and it's amazing that we are talking about it because it's so important already to have it so clear, and how this is disconnecting us so much through our true power, that is our sexual energy, the power of destruction and creation. And when we talk about demons and entities, and when we talk about the diabolic spirits, in a way, I think it's more like a psychological aspect of repressing energies in us. No? Okay, let's put this example. What happened to a wolf, a salvage spirit of the nature of the forest, when you put it in a cage? When you repress him, he becomes aggressive, He becomes aggressive and he becomes crazy,
right.
And it's not because he's evil. And that's why humanity is confusing that so much, especially in men's, that the aggression is already the symbol of evil. And for me, the aggression is the symbol of one of the most important instincts of liberation, of transformation, Is that explosion, is that big bang in our hearts,
Wow.
And we need to master that fire because we are sons of the fire, and our destiny is to become masters of our own fire, by embracing our fathers, by integrating our fathers,
The other one that's scary is the sloth, like Pereza, like the sloth is, you think of as a very sleepy animal, but he's not. It's just that when you put a sloth in prison, like you put it in a cage, it will sleep all day. Of course, it has nothing to do.
Exactly.
So we've either got fire, passion, or worse, we've emasculated and weakened people successfully because we've put the fire out.
Exactly. So that's the thing that I need to understand, that all these bad entities, these demons, etc., that in the infra world, in the Mayans, they are there. They are described as demons, as demonic spirits, because those are the energies of the karma of the earth that are being repressed and not being processed. So when you keep a wolf in a cage for 30 years, you're going to see a demon in there, because it's an energy of the nature that is being so repressed. That's why the priests, we hear this about the priests, that they repress so much their sexuality that they end up raping the children's, and is that the devil? No. It's not that it's the devil. It's that they are repressing an energy of the nature, and this is the result, the result is a massive destruction of life and disrespect, because I don't respect my own sexual sacred energy.
Right. It seems like this pendulum swings back too hard. Take it away, and then they demand they go crazy.
Exactly. That's why craziness in Spanish is locura, and that word means two things. It means locura, that craziness, and lo cura, it cures it. So that means that your craziness cures
Never thought
you,
of that.
because it's that energy in your family tree, in your society, that is being excluded, like diabolized, like, okay, these people that is having a lot of sex or being too wild, etc., they are evil, so they excluded. It's crazy energy, and our task is to realign that energy, reintegrate that energy in us, so we can flow with that, because all the chakras are there for a reason. You cannot work without any single chakra. You need all of them. You need all the colors. Also in music, there was a time in the church when there was one tone in music that was forbidden.
Dude, a lot of
That is-
tones. All the black keys on the piano burn you at the stake if you touch those.
Especially and not only the black ones, but also actually the white one, because I am a musician also, no. In the last chord of the piano that is with C is a tritone.
Oh man.
And that tritone was forbidden in the church.
Imagine how many dudes got in trouble. Oh my god. Because yeah, they think you're the devil.
Exactly, no. So that was forbidden, no, and that is such an important tone, that because of this tone, the jazz exists. That is the
Right.
language of freedom in music, no. So that means that and it was forbidden because it was creating this dissonant harmony, no. That is the symbol of death. No,
Dissonance. I don't know. I feel like they use that word wrong. Tritones are the flexible. They can work with other tones. That's kind of the
exactly,
thing.
no, and they know it of nowadays in jazz is the most used tool, no.
Yeah.
And it was created in the jail, first with the blues, with the black people inside of the jail. They created the freedom. Okay, you close us, but still we are free inside of us, and that's what we are going to play, this, express this freedom, no. And and it's a beautiful metaphor, because then we realize that inside of the poison is the medicine, inside of your cancer is your healing, inside of your resentment is your compassion, no.
Well, it's pretty interesting because you think about some of the European groups, or well, I mean, like for instance, Pythagoras and anybody who was interested had these to play the tritones, had secret societies with pentagram symbols to sneak in, and it just seems like the darkest thing that they're making jazz music. But
yeah, exactly, no. So and that's Lucifer, no. Lucifer is the angel of light that lives in the darkness, because he sees the light inside of the darkness.
So maybe just to ask, how can we what would you say is the key? So you spoke about forgiveness. The other idea that came up is communication, because I had this, past life experience through some hypnotic state, let's say. By now, the Roman Empire may have existed or not, but I had this idea of being in the Roman Senate and being very depressed, being like a senator or something, and being depressed because they had just spelled out the ban for the Dionysian like orgies or whatever they had or something. And it was not. But
I can see Raph being bummed about that.
Because the thing is, the issue was that my understanding in that state was like, oh my god, like if we have deteriorated to that state already, that it even would have to be banned, or we have such an oppressive church or something that they want to just ban it, then basically society is going downhill. Because just like you explained, this idea, if I want to overly control it, then there are the real aberrations and like bad behavior and abuse and so on. And if we would better communicate with this darkness or something, then it could jive into the world without needing to hurt ourselves or anybody else, and you can still be locura. Do I get that correctly? So it's about communicating with that part.
Well, there was a bit of omophagia, which is the thing. I don't know if this is real or not. This could be total lie. But during the Dionysus Bacchus festies, people would eat meat that was raw, and a lot of the time from people. I mean, it might not be true. Again,
so
this is just
So just to put the frame in this vision, it was not exactly clear to me what happened there exactly. It was just more this, state level idea of if we have to go to these kind of bans, then we really have an issue as a society. Like
did you watch Woodstock 99? Did you watch Woodstock 99? Because I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what it's about. It's like it gets to a point where they ban the whole thing because there's there's a few people that are burning things down, and there's
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
I'm going to talk about it because it's amazing that Rafael took the topic. We can come back to Kukulkan, to the Mayan pyramid. And I'm going to explain something from that is going to reply that question.
Boom. There we go.
Yes. But it's better if you can show the whole pyramid. Yeah, like that one.
Here, let me find a good there you go, right? Is right? Okay.
Yeah, this one.
Boom.
Perfect. So the Mayans, they knew that in order to evolve spiritually, there is one step of light and one step of darkness, and that's how the sacred snake with the feathers, that is the kukulkan, is the eagle in the snake, that is one, is being created by one step of light and one step of darkness. No, so that means that in order to climb and to be in the consciousness of God, in the eyes of Horus, in the divine darkness, holding the divine light, you need to first go into your light and then go into your darkness. Go into your light, and that's the communication between the feminine and masculine energy in harmony. No, I communicate my light, and then I integrate it in my darkness. No, and when that communication is not happening, is when the wheel of karma, that is the yin yang, it is being accumulated. For example, when we are not being in communication with our darkness, then there is this massive disbalance that start to create an abnormal rotation in the yin yang that creates something like an atomic bomb. No, so it creates an explosion. That's why we have volcanoes, because the volcanoes are the symbols of that energies that are being repressed so much that they explode. No, that's why we have also this kind of killings and bombardings and wars with the bombs, etc. Because it's the darkness that, when it's not being processed, it explodes. No, and when there is these movements, that there is these revolutions, that then these ideas are against these ideas, and we want to be free, and we find that freedom through killing other people. No, so it's these explosions. No, so I think that the main secret of this process of healing and awakening in creation, it is to have this balanced communication between the feminine and the masculine energy, the darkness and the light. And we can see it in the pyramid here. We can count the steps, and there is one step of light and one step of darkness.
Do you think that then is the Mayan faith, or I don't know if faith is the word, right? We're talking about spirituality, but is it dualistic? Is the philosophy dualistic? The idea of light and darkness, are they equal, or?
Yeah, like as I was saying, no, they are complementary. No, that's why this pyramid is so important here. And there is a story about this pyramid. No, it was built on another pyramid. No, and it's because the light, the darkness for the Mayans is the same like the yin yang for the Chinese. No, they are one. No, and they were super conscious about it. That's why they created this pyramid, because it's the snake with feathers, the kukulkan.
But as you're also saying, like reincarnation and lifting up, going through the levels and becoming a better and better person, right? So isn't that talk about goodness over darkness, or is that light and darkness part of equate more light and darkness integration make goodness?
Okay, more than talking that better than bad, that are terms that I don't use. Sometimes they are still in my lexicon, in my vocabulary. No, but I try to stop saying those words.
Look completely. What they've done to us, right?
but it's more about process of alchemies, of transformation. when the alchemist needs both, needs light and darkness to create all the colors, no? And that's why the alchemist happens in the darkness. That's why when we see also the Egyptian wisdom, we found out that, for example, the eternal fire of Ra, of the god of the sun, is in the temple of darkness, no? And that's why the Egyptians, when they were going into the infra world, also into the lower parts of the pyramids, into the tombs, they have this fire always in there, no? And it was because it was the fire was the symbol of life is eternal, no? And we are eternal beings, and that memory is living in the darkness. So that means that all the process of transformation of human beings happen inside of the darkness. That's why Shiva is the god of fire, and that's why we see the stars, and the stars, they are surrounded by darkness, because the stars is the fire that we need to cook, no? So that means that the fire is going to transform us. So in what we are going to be transformed, we don't know. We don't know, no? That's a mystery, no? And that's the darkness, is the magic. In many of my process of healings, when I went into my own infra world, into my own darkness, I found so much magic, no? And that's why when I realized that the darkness is the spring of magic, it's the spring of light. That's why the magicians, they have this in the kids' stories, they put these clothes when they have dark clothes and little stars, no? Because they connect to the mystery of life. And that's the same reason why the pirates, they have one eye cover, because one eye is looking inside of the mystery of life when they find the real treasure, the gold of the dragon.
That explanation I like. And the only one thing I can contribute, because there's always this debate, there's even a Swiss philosopher by the name of Armin Risi, and he also puts forward the good argument saying that yet there is no shadow without light. I mean, this is a whole metaphysical discussion, but at least from what I've read about Kabbalism from Manly Palmer Hall, is also there in the beginning you have Ein, then Ein Sof, and Ein Sof Aur. And the Ein actually is the infinite void. So also here it starts in darkness, and from then there is a point, and then that point starts to shine, which is the manifestation. So
there's this place in San Francisco called the De Young Museum, and it's got an upside down pyramid going into a temple. And then there's also some cool other stuff, though.
Wow.
I was trying to find specifically. Oh yeah, there's his masculine hierophant of a sphinx right there, which is a very strange sphinx. It's still androgynous with breasts, but it's, it's a duty, and then there's the pirate in front, and the pirate has 2 peg legs and 2 pirate crossed eyes and 2 parrots. So he's completely blind and completely, that's interesting. I thought we also have a couple super chats I should read. Katie says, sending drone school money and nothing off topic today. I don't know if you mean from us but yes, if that's for drone money, great, because I'm taking drone class actually, and I'm going to get my drone 107A license. So that's happening. So thank you. Stephen Kalin, the word dodecahedron was forbidden to be spoken outside the Pythagorean cult. Similar to Nasara Jasara, it was supposedly punishable by death. Well, that's interesting. Is the dodecahedron banned? What do you think about the dodecahedron? Let me pull that thing up. You have any thoughts on the shape?
I think it corresponds to one of the chakras in the system. I think 5th chakra, actually.
Yeah, and that's why I think
third eye chakra. At least that's what Google says. Third eye chakra correlation, yeah.
Well, the fact that there's a Reichian organ chakra stone for this, I think that kind of works. I believe that. Let's go into the dodecahedron, third eye, element of ether, platonic solids. Okay, I'll go with that. That makes the most sense to me. We also have another super chat. Haley, Julia, what's up, Julia? Share this video with loved ones. Many can benefit from it. This information. Thank you. So yes, I agree. I agree. This is awesome. This is a great video so far. Man.
Yeah, I think it's a fundamental things that our ancestors bring us, no? And I think that we are also not here to follow traditions, no, the way they are, but to learn from the traditions. And okay, I'm going to tell a little story that I like a lot. And it was these kings in the royalty that they were making this soup out of a duck. Uh-huh. And they were so amazed by this delicious soup that they teach the recipe to the lower class, and they were also amazed by this soup, and they teach it to the more lower class, to the etc., until it was getting to know by everyone, and they were teaching this recipe. And they were telling you how to put the dog like this, and to cook the food like this, etc., until when it got to the last people into the town, the most poor people, already the soup didn't have taste, no? So the metaphor of this story is that sometimes things that were in the past doesn't work for us anymore. So we are like a computer that is always refreshing, no, upgrading. So, but by that we need to acknowledge the past and understand the most fundamental rules, the sacred geometry, why the pyramids are here, no, and they were not, and they are not here for the Mayans, no, they are still working for us, no, and they are still transforming us, because the pyramid, like if you put the Egyptian pyramid, for example, if you can put it there,
Pulling it up.
Is the geometry of fire, no? And it's also show the relationship with the Pleiadians, no? So and the Pleiadians are beings that are vibrating in the 5 dimension, no? The dimension of the ether, no? The eternal beings. And it's because these ancestors, that we are also the stellar seeds in the earth. They bring all this sacred wisdom into us, but still that doesn't mean that wisdom we're going to apply it in the same way in our nowadays life, no. But the universe is still in process of expansion and exploration and divine creativity, no. So that means that it's beautiful to learn from the traditions, from the ancestral knowledge, etc. But we are not in the ancestral times anymore. And that's my one of my point of views, that for me it's like my eye of eagle, that see that already all the cultures and all the medicines and all the different religions, practices of healing, etc., they are becoming one, no, and they all fit to each other, no. And I see that everything is start to be much more complementary, and I think that this is the vision that at least in my opinion, in my feeling, we all need to have, that we are all participating in harmony in this masterpiece.
Do you think the stories of the Mayan gods, are they just stories of ancient kings and warriors? But are they humans? Are they super beings? Are they the spirits themselves?
I was not going to tell that story in this interview because it's a little bit long, but I'm going to tell it in a little bit short way. Okay. And it's related to the pyramids. No, what are the pyramids? No, let's talk about it. No, the pyramids, in a short words, they are portals to different dimensions. No, the fourth dimension is the dimension of time, and the five dimension, that is the dimension of symphony of the spirit, no, the eternity, no, the no time, the consciousness, no. And then there is a story that say that the seed of life is actually, it was created by six gods, no, that they were in the sixth dimension, no. And the seed of life, they join other consciousness together, the fire, the water, the earth, the spirit, and all the elements together to create the seed of life that was the consciousness, and then the consciousness was awakened in the element of water, for example, no, and those were the Pleiadians, no. And the consciousness was awakened in the dimension of fire, and those were the Lyrans, no. And then when they were making these alchemies of combining each other to the element of earth, etc. So these beings, they were eternal beings of light, that they couldn't die, no, they didn't know death, they were eternal, and they knew that because the jaguars or the tigers, etc., that is the spiritual animal of Shiva. That's nice that you put him.
That's funny because I was going to do it because I was looking at the picture here of this guy, and he's blue, and I was like, well, there you go. That's
Shiva. Exactly.
There's some correlation there to the avatars of Vishnu in general.
Everything is the same. It's the same, written in different ways. No, so there's this story that Shiva or
in the shell. Sorry, but yeah,
exactly, in the shell, that is the sea, is the Pleiad, the connection with the Pleiadians, because it's this creatures of the sea, the etc. No, but
right.
He has a tiger clothes, because he the stories say that he transformed himself into a tiger or into a jaguar, etc. And he make a roar.
It does look more like a jaguar. Oh yeah. Man.
And he made a roar so strong. And in that moment he destroyed the dimension of time. And time, that was like a glass, it become into millions of pieces, no, when you break a glass, no. And that breaking of the glass created the minerals, no, and it created the third dimension. And then it's when, through the Merkaba, that is the geometry of the spirit becoming matter and the matter becoming spirit, was the spaceship that took the Pleiadians and the Lyrans, the Sirans, to the third dimension, to the fourth dimension, no. And exactly in that rotation, it was traveling to, and it arrived into the pyramids, no. That's why there was this communication that the earth, it was created, these beings that were the first beings of the earth, and it's a long story, no. The earth already had a project of creating a consciousness, no, but it needed this help with these other beings, no. So the plan was that these beings, they were, when you put the Sumerians, for example, Sumerians. Yes, exactly that one, no. No, the one before.
This one.
Yeah, this one. There is an eagle there, no? We can see it, no? Mm-hmm. And there is a giant, no? And there is these ones that are like, in a way, they say that they are slaves, no? And that's why in many different cultures, they say that these gods, they had slaves, no? Like that created the pyramids, the slaves creating the pyramids. And it's not really like that. Maybe it was like that in different times, but that was not the main purpose. And the reason is that these slaves, the smaller humans, they were not humans. They were beings of the earth that were incomplete. It was like an incomplete project. So the earth, with the help of these beings, they created the pyramids. And then with the pyramids, there were these portals that they were able to receive the Merkaba from the fourth dimension. And that's why the Mayan pyramids, we can see that they have little houses inside. Why they have little houses? No?
Hmm.
And it was because through the alignment of the stars in the planet, the energy, the frequencies were able to travel and arriving into the pyramids. And there was this
the most connected thing you could possibly do. I mean, the Sumerian pyramid versus like Kukulkan
exactly
is
no?
you've got. There's no question that this kind of pyramid is a step pyramid, much more like a ziggurat. The Sumerian stuff.
Exactly no. So and also if you put the pyramid of Uxmal, it's also a beautiful one.
How do I spell Uxmal?
Yeah, like it was, yeah, like that, exactly.
Oh wow,
you put it like that. Yeah,
I knew there was an X. I can never trust myself with the X's. Yeah.
And they call it the pyramid of the Witcher. No.
Wow.
And okay, maybe it was a fantasy or something. I'm going to say it here in public, but in one process of masters that I have, Jesus, he showed me his life. I was blessed, or it was like a miracle that he showed me his life when he died, and then he died, and when he was reincarnating, it was that moment when he took all his moleculars and his atoms to his center, like a star, and that light, it was so strong, like an explosion, that it arrived into Shmal, into this pyramid, no, and he appeared there, no, in his resuscitation, and he arrived there because he wanted to learn about shamanism, no, and about medicines, etc. No, but
I'm for it.
The point of this is that these gods that they arrive from the 5th dimension, they arrive like this. No, first their feet were the feet of dragons, the feet of crocodiles.
Wow, yeah.
Because the crocodile the dragons is the magical beings, no? Because it's the first spirits that become matter. It's the ones that knows the alchemy between spirit and life in the most primordial contact. So they know what magic means, no? We are here by magic. So their feet, they were feet of snakes. Their heart was a heart of jaguar, because he was the jaguar who broke the time and came here, the fire. And the head, it was the head of the eagle, because it was the consciousness of the sun. And that's why when we put, for example, Ra, the Egyptian god, he has a face of eagle, no? And it's the same that the Mayans, they were saying it, no? And it's because they have the head because the eagle represents the consciousness of the sun in the body, in the matter. So, and then after that, they were having this ritual of the cacao, and they were bringing the cacao to the gods, and it was like a special drink. And this drink, in the ancestral times, the purpose was really that this sacred tree that the earth had created, and it was to create this sacred drink to give to the gods. And it had a rain of the water, the semen of the sky, and blood of the humans, that they were not complete humans, no? And they were having a sacred calendar. That's why you can see all the symbols around, that they were making it in that alchemist process, giving the cacao to them. And then there was in full moon, these gods, they become jaguars, no? And these are the sacrifices that we hear, no? That when they become jaguars, they were offered human blood, no? And they were eating these pseudo humans, no? And then after that, in new moon, because these gods, they didn't have a skin, they were having bones. That's why we can see some Mayan hieroglyphics that the gods are represented with the skeletons, no? And then in the new moon, exactly, these gods, they were already humans, no? So they have human skin.
Mm.
And then in new moon is when they were going down from the pyramid, and then they were making love with the woman, no?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
And then we are the result of that, no? And then
Wow.
and the reason why they were putting these gods into the tombs, like the Egyptians into the tombs and covering them, etc., etc., it was because they came back to their dimension, no? They just came for this purpose and they left. So that's why the Mayan gods, the Mayan kings, they were also found inside of the pyramids. They died there because that's the way how their spirit how their body, that it was the matter, becomes spirit again, and it ascended into the Merkaba back. No.
Interesting. So it might not be like a funeral home that the body has to stay as much as it's a place where you have to die.
To teletransport yourself into your home origin or with your stellar family.
Wow. This has been awesome. I feel like, we hit 2 hours. I kind of want to ask you about crystal skulls. I know if you're tired, we could do it another time, but if you have any thoughts on crystal skulls, that'd be my last question. Otherwise, we'll just save it.
Crystal skull, what is that? I don't know. What is that?
Have you heard about this idea of crystal skulls? So there's this whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to finish with that because I think it's already too much.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. But I was just like, someone asked about it, and I was like, well, what does he think about crystal skulls? Because that's like a big conspiracy that there's shamans,
The crystal skulls. I was already in a trance, connect to them, and without touching them, and they contain the Akashic records of all the human karma in another dimensions. Actually, they say that we have the information in our blood of 33 different planets. How is that possible? No, and it's because we are connected to 33 different human families in different dimensions in human planets that we are not aware of, and we are interchanging information through these skeletons.
I mean, I believe that is the weirdest part of it all, but I mean, that's the only thing I've ever heard that makes sense. I think
I want to say explains a lot, right?
Yeah.
That's why we have so much technology, because we are, yeah.
So yeah, connected from other
dimensions. And that's why planet Earth is so wanted by other civilizations. That, for example, the reptilians, that they were one of the first that came. The Earth is on target. It wants to be conquered because it's like a paradise, no? And everyone is talking here about, I want to go to paradise after I die. Here is the paradise. This is the Garden of Eden, no?
We literally have cacao. All right, I hear you. That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So
brutal. Andreas, that was amazing. I wanted to share your links so people can find you. Let me just go to the Jaguar de Cacao and also your main page here, and I'll add Jaguar de Cacao to the description because right now it's
actually there is a workshop that I am offering now that is the alchemy of healing my roots.
Awesome.
We're going to dive into a very deep process of healing the karma of the war, the karma of the feminine, masculine. It's going to be very deep.
Oh, it's going to be on Zoom. Cool. I'd love to check this out. So
this is still possible to subscribe if someone wants to join.
I am in. Cool. All right, there's my comment. And guys, you can also like this page, and you can also find Andreas Navarrete on Facebook right here. That's awesome. And then also Comenci.at if you want to get to Raf's page. Raf's page is beautiful. Raf's page is great. And there's just so many amazing podcasts. He's been talking to a lot of important and interesting people all over the world as well. So let's keep this.
Yeah, and Xirtus, I want to add you onto the front page if you agree.
Oh yeah, no, I'm flattered. Thank you.
All right.
But yeah,
well, thank you, Andreas, so much for joining, and thank you, Andreas, for hosting one of the most amazing and advanced shows as always, I would say. So thank you.
This has been wonderful.
Thank you very much.
I'll be back soon. Take care. Peace.
Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarian.
Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.